In today's video, we're going to talk about how much muscle you can build as a natural. Now, the idea for today's topic came from a question I received from John on a recent video where he's asking me my thoughts on Jeff Nippard's recent video where he was covering the expectations for muscle gains for natural lifters versus enhanced lifters. And in that video, Jeff was talking about his muscle building journey and how much he's been able to gain over the years and how it's slowed down over the years. And John was wondering how my personal journey compared to Jeff's. I love recording videos based on topics that you want me to address, questions you may have, or challenges you may be facing. So if there's anything you want me to cover in a future video, please do me a favor and drop a comment down below. Now, I couldn't have been happier to see Jeff publish this video because in previous videos I've published on the topic of genetic muscular potential, I've used Jeff as a reference. I consider him among the genetic elite, and he takes a smart, science-based approach to training, so he's doing everything that he can to maximize his genetic muscular potential. And I've mentioned in my videos that it sure looks like he's gaining muscle at a very slow rate in recent years, and Jeff's video confirms that. So Jeff is 5'5", 160 pounds, and in his early 30s. He's been lifting for 15 years. He mentioned that during his 5 years of lifting, he gained about 20 pounds. During his second 5 years of lifting, he gained about 5 pounds. During his past 5 years of lifting, he's gained maybe 1 to 2 pounds. So you can see that most of his gains, as expected, are during the first 5 years, and then it's gradually slowed down over time, just like all of the evidence has pointed towards. So that's 27 pounds of muscle that Jeff gained during his first 15 years of lifting as a natural. And it's important to note that Jeff didn't try to stay lean during all of his muscle building phases. He's gone bear mode. Like, he has fully embraced the bulking seasons here. So like I said, he's done everything that he can to maximize his genetic muscular potential. Now, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, Jeff has shared that the natural expectations for lifters is to gain 20 to 40 pounds of muscle during your entire lifting career, if you want to call it that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Jeff gains during the next 10 to 15 years to see if he's able to continue slowly eking out the gains as I have over time, which is why it's just so important to not necessarily focus on these numbers per se, but just put your best freaking effort forward and do everything that you can to maximize your potential and just see where the cards fall. Now, for myself, I'm 5'7", 147 pounds, and I'll be turning 48 in the next couple months here. I began lifting at the age of 13. I was a small little guy, I had just hit 5 feet tall, wasn't quite 100 pounds. And by the time I was 19 years old, so 6 years of hard freaking lifting as a dedicated teenager there, I ended up weighing 123 pounds. Now, how much of that was actually attributed to muscle gains from working out? It's difficult to say because at the age of 13, I went through my growth spurt. I went from 5 foot tall to 5'7". That was it for me. I think I grew 7 inches in grade 9 there, and I stopped growing after that. I think that's just in my genetic cards. My dad's 5'8", my uncles are 5'7" themselves, so I wasn't expecting to be a very big guy. My mom's like barely 5 foot tall as well, so not in my genetics to be a very big guy to begin with there. So, but still, I grew 7 inches, and I'm going to put on some muscle just from that growth and weight just from that growth as well. So how much of that, like say 25 pounds in that first 6 years of lifting was actually attributed to weight training and how much just to me growing, very, very difficult to say. Then from the age of 19 to 36, I went from 123 pounds to 137 pounds. That's 24 pounds of muscle in 17 years. Now, it's important to note that at the age of 19, that's when I really started getting smart about my training. That's when I embarked on my 4-year university degree in kinesiology with honors in movement science and just immersing myself in all the bodybuilding books, like really learning how to strategically design our training program. So my training was absolutely phenomenal from that point on, which I think really attributed to some great gains during that time. And then from the age of 36 to nearly 48 right now, I've gone from 137 pounds to 147 pounds. So that's 10 pounds of muscle in the past 12 years. It's really important to note that during this past 12 years, I've taken my training to the next level, but even more important, I've taken my lifestyle to the next level. I've really prioritized my sleep, making sure I'm getting 8.5 hours of sleep just about every single night. I'm managing my stress better than ever before. My nutrition continues to improve, consuming more and more quality nutrient-rich foods. Also supplementing a little bit more, just making sure I'm getting an adequate amount of each vitamin and mineral to really allow me to perform my best in all that I'm doing throughout the day. So like looking at the big picture here, my entire transformation journey, I think I've done a pretty damn good job. I mean, that's about 34 pounds during the past nearly 20 years, plus whatever I may have gained from the age of 13 to 19. Again, really tough to tell because I went through that growth spurt during that time. So I like in the past was considering myself as a hard gainer, especially being only 147 pounds right now and really see my muscle gains coming at a slow and steady pace at this point in my journey. But really when I look at the big picture, I've done pretty freaking damn good and pretty much in line with what would be expected for a natural lifter. I think that's really important to know. I am a lifetime natural. I haven't taken any kind of hormone replacement therapy, so no TRT, no type of performance enhancing drug in the least. It's just not even on my radar. It's just not within me. I mean, TRT down the road, if it has an impact on my well-being, if I start to notice my well-being in the tank, I would consider it at that point. But at this point, there's just no reason for me to take it. But yeah, a lot of people look at me, 147 pounds. What do you know about building muscle? You're not a man if you're not 200 pounds. But I think I'm an accurate representation of a lot of the guys out there. I mean, a lot of my clients, when they go through a fat loss phase, end up weighing in the 150s. We're not all meant to be big, massive guys, yet we can all look pretty freaking jacked. A lot of people tell me I look jacked at 147 pounds, so I don't get concerned about what the scale weight is. I just look at what I've been able to achieve over time and really working with the gifts that I have been granted, really maximizing my personal genetic potential and celebrating the hell out of it. So really happy with where I'm at right now. I mean, really looking at my bone structure, I got these tiny little wrists here, tiny ankles. Like my frame just can't support large amounts of muscle mass. Whereas like Jeff, even though he's a little bit shorter than me, he's a thick freaking beast. He has the bone structure to kind of support that 160 pounds on his shorter frame. And you look at his parents, they are freaking genetic freaks. Like they are jacked. His mom looks freaking incredible. His dad is a monster. Like he's got some great genetics in his family. Whereas you look at my genetics, you look at my dad, you look at my uncles, you look at my son, who's like been heavy into the weight training for the past, it's probably 7-8 years right now, and he himself is in the 140s right now. He's like 5'10", just crushing his workouts, doing everything that he can to maximize his genetic potential. You just see that it's just not in our genes. He's like me with the small bone structure there. So really just working with what we've got and celebrating the hell out of it. So without a doubt, I would definitely say I am very, very, very close to my natural genetic muscular potential, if not already there. And this is in line with everything else that I am seeing out there. Like I mentioned when I was talking with Lane Norton at the Arnold Classic this year, Lane in his early 40s, I asked him like, how much muscle have you been gaining in recent years? He was like, none. And again, I consider Lane a genetic freak, especially when it comes to strength. I mean, a national champion, he is absolutely kicking butt. And again, science-based, doing everything the right way. Smart training, smart approach to his nutrition, smart approach to his lifestyle, and pretty much tapped out in his early 40s right now. Jeff Alberts, Alberto Nunez, and even looking at the younger guys like Jeff in his early 30s. And in my videos, I've talked about Alex Leonidas, Alpha Destiny there, in his 20s. Gone through a lot of bulks and cuts, gone bear mode as well like Jeff. I mentioned like I can see his gains really slowing down. Like this past muscle building phase, maybe he gained a couple pounds at most. So very much in line with what Jeff's experiences are. I consider Alex another genetic freak as well. Like he's about my height, 5'7", and looks like a monster. Around again in the upper 150s, 160s, and making that look massive. He is incredibly jacked for a smaller dude himself. Other guys like Jeffrey Verity Schoenfeld, again in his 20s, seeing the gains slow down, and he's again gone bear mode. He's already talking about how he's not going to gain as much weight during his upcoming muscle building phases because just realizing it's not worth it. And again, these younger guys, it's always fun listening to them talk about like their genetic limits, and I just think it's a bunch of crap. There is no limit. Well, you're in your 20s. Let's see what happens when you're in your 40s. Things are definitely already slowing down for them. They're going to continue to slow down, but it doesn't mean really, like, who knows when they will actually stop. We're talking like for myself personally, it's a game of ounces at this point, which is hard to measure, but I'm going to do everything that I can to maximize those gains. And then you look at guys like John Meadows, rest in peace, my brother. I have mixed emotions every time I watch his videos because they're still publishing old footage from him on his channel right now, Mountain Dog 1. and I watch him all the time because there's just so much value, so much lessons, so much value to be gained from his experiences there. He was a wealth of knowledge and just very giving of his experiences, his time, his energy, his knowledge. And man, I've learned so much from him over the years. And this week they uploaded a video of him when he was 47 years young. And John, not natural, was talking about how basically he's not expecting to gain any muscle at this point. So if someone who isn't natural with all this experience of training under their belts and in his upper 40s there isn't expecting to gain muscle, you got to really kind of take that into consideration when you're setting your expectations for how much muscle you can build at this stage in the game. If you're still pretty new in the journey, no matter how old you are, you're going to be able to build muscle at a faster rate. The more experience you have, especially when you get beyond 10 years of lifting, it becomes a very, very slow and steady pace. So take that into consideration. Pay attention to the true evidence out there, guys like Jeff sharing his videos, myself sharing my videos here, our journeys, our expectations. There's so many other people out there doing the same thing, rather than looking at a muscle building program out there that's promising 10, 20, 30 pounds of muscle gains in the next 30 days or whatever. Even if you're an advanced lifter, that just doesn't happen. I don't see any kind of examples of that truly happening out there. So really take all that stuff with a grain of salt and just give the best of yourself to all that you're doing and just let the cards fall where they may. I hope you found value in today's video. I hope it offered some insights that are going to help you in your journey, just doing everything you can to maximize your gains and putting forth your best effort and just having fun in this process and celebrating yourself, celebrating that you're doing what you can to express the best version of yourself from moment to moment to moment. If you did enjoy today's video, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do me a favor and share it with them so they don't have unrealistic expectations when it comes to their muscle building goals and start beating themselves up and maybe leading them down a path of performance enhancing drugs when it's really not in their nature to be doing something like that themselves. More than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your own personal experiences when it comes to muscle gains, and let me know if there's any topics you would like me to cover in future videos. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.